Hello and welcome to this episode of Episode One, the show where I watch first episodes of countless shows and tell you what I think and whether or not you should consider watching the show. I'm Sergio Barrera. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you've watched previous episodes and enjoyed them as well. If you haven't, make sure you click that subscribe button so that you can continue to catch up on my content, and also click that notification bell so you can know when any sort of content lands here on the channel. Today, we're going to go back to Paramount Plus because I want to talk to you guys about a show that is just utterly fantastic. The show is called Landman, and Landman is a vehicle that stars Billy Bob Thornton. And when I tell you that this show is just absolutely fantastic, I don't know uh, what more I can say other than that. The show itself debuted this past year, and right from the outset, it was a really great show. At least the episodes I've seen. But I really wanted to share it with you today because I'm hoping that you'll take a moment to check it out. The show itself is another one created by Taylor Sheridan, who I've featured some of his shows in previous episodes. So need I say more? It stars Billy Bob Thornton, Larter, Demi Moore, Jon Hamm, and it's set within the world of the oil fields of West Texas. And again, Billy Bob Thornton plays what's called a landman. A landman is someone who basically is a person who specializes in researching and negotiating land rights, and particularly mineral rights, and they work in oil fields and so forth. And it's very obviously intriguing work, and dramatic. Um, and basically, Billy Bob Thornton is it's a tour de force performance that he has, um, as Tommy Norris, the landman. Um, the overall premise of the show is all of the intrigue that goes into the world of billionaires who have property that they want to extract oil from, and Tommy Norris, played by Billy Bob Thornton, his role is to negotiate the land leases necessary for this type of work to be done. So he's this rugged guy, very grizzled, has gone through a lot, and over the course of his life, and it shows. And so when the first episode opens up, we find him in a very precarious situation as he's been taken hostage by a Mexican cartel. The Mexican cartel, of course, is influential in the area of West Texas where he is, and they are holding him hostage because they want him to work out a good deal for the surface lease that he's trying to negotiate so that oil can be dug, drilled, and so forth. It's a really sort of startling beginning to the first episode of this show because he's literally tied to a chair. He's got a bag over his head, and he's obviously in peril. He negotiates a successful service lease within the context of that initial conversation, which is he secures his own freedom. But that's not until one of the men that's guarding him is killed by the cartel boss in cold blood right in front of him. Man, what a start to the show. um, it's kind of insane. But that's just the beginning. Before too long, a truck plows through a plane full of drugs that was parked on the middle of a highway and being unloaded. What an explosion that was. His son, Cooper, we find, is starting his first day working the oil fields. And so the first episode is basically an opportunity to get to know that character and his work as a person who's new to that type of work. Tommy Norris's daughter Ainsley moves in as part of this episode, and that carries with it its own drama. And his son survives, hopefully, we think. We're not sure after episode one. A rig explosion out in the oil field. I mean, it's an episode that has bookended with two explosions, one at the beginning and one at the end. I mean, geez Louise, it was nonstop, this show. The pros of the show, I mean, it's Billy Bob Thornton. I'm a big fan, and so whenever he's in something, I'm gonna check it out. And there's quite a few of his shows that I'm gonna have on this list of shows that I'm watching and talking about. But this is his most recent, and it's a very, very successful episode to start off a series that I plan to continue on my own time because it really, really is very, very enjoyable. Not only that, another pro about this show is that it's a Taylor Sheridan show. He writes fantastic material between the Yellowstone series, that universe, between Mayor of Kingstown and now Landman. I mean, what can't the guy write about? It's just fantastic, his scope and his ability to put together great scripts, bring together great casts, and just an amazing, amazing start to a very intriguing show. The cons, the daughter storyline is a little bit cringy, but I mean, I think it's needed to establish, the kind of man that Tommy Norris is, outside of his very, very ruthless and cutthroat job that he does within the oil industry. Jon Hamm is fantastic as the billionaire owner of this company that Tommy Norris works for. He's very much the cleaner, so to speak, for Jon Hamm and his company. And just Hamm is fantastic. If you think back to his work in shows like Mad Men, he's just amazing. So, would I continue watching this series? In my notes, I simply wrote the words "hell yes." In fact, like I said earlier, I plan to continue watching the show just for my own enjoyment. Don't forget, you can find it on Paramount Plus. The show is called Landman. And I really, really hope that you'll take an opportunity to check it out because I found it to be extremely, extremely enjoyable. I hope you do too. If you do watch Landman as a result of this show, I hope you'll put a comment and let me know your thoughts about the show. If you have finished the series, don't spoil it for me, but let me know what you thought of Landman. Uh, as always, it's great meeting with you here to let you know my thoughts on several different television shows, and the journey is going to continue on. So if you have an idea for a show that you would like me to watch and comment on, I'll check out the first episode of it. Just drop me a note in the comments and I'll be happy to check it out. And I'll even let people know that you were the person who told me to watch that particular show. Until then, I hope you'll click that notification bell so that you know when episodes land, and subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to grow here. Thank you so much once again for being here. And don't forget, as I always say, you're awesome, you're amazing, and the world's a better place because you are in it. I'll see you next time on episode 1.